Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode. This one is called Getting the Lowest Priced Whole Life Insurance When You Have Heart Problems. So if you have heart problems, you have a heart problem, then this is your guide. Heart problems are very, very common. So this is going to be your guide to what to expect and how to get the best price and the best program. Now, as always, all of our programs, except for graded policies and except for guaranteed issue life insurance. But everything else, which is 95% of what we do, they're going to be A-rated life insurance providers. They're going to be life insurance policies that include living benefits. If you don't know what that is, check out one of our living benefits videos or blogs. And so these policies, even with heart issues, you're going to be able to get into a policy that's with an A-rated carrier. Everything we work with is A-rated, so we should be covered on that. Now, what are these heart problems that I'm referring to? I've made 3 different categories of minor heart issues, moderate heart issues, and severe heart issues. The minor ones, it's a short list. It's cholesterol and blood pressure. Now, these are very, very common. Most people are on blood pressure, cholesterol medicines, oftentimes even 3 or 4 or 5 blood pressure prescription medicines. Now, the life insurance companies, they care about prescription, they don't care about over-the-counter, and they care about anything that's going to be in your medical database. So if you've gone into the doctor, there's a record of it. If you've had a surgery, there's a record of it. If you've had a diagnosis, there is a record of it. It's in what's called your MIB, your medical database. So that is what they look at. And that's what they ask you about. You want to always answer truthfully in life insurance applications. You want to make sure that your beneficiaries are not going to be jeopardized. You know, the policy check amount that they're going to receive, that wouldn't be jeopardized when it's needed. Now, the moderate category of heart problems are going to be things like, do you take blood thinners? Do you have any blood clots? Or did you have any blood clots? Any stents? Pacemaker? Heart attacks? Heart surgeries, irregular heart rhythm. Now that can include a whole bunch of things. For example, AFib, heart murmur. These are not uncommon. These are actually pretty common. A lot of times you're gonna have a heart murmur, you won't even know. Maybe you've had a heart murmur since you were a baby. You know, usually you're born with it. It can develop, but usually you're born with it. And you may not even be aware of it. So if it's been diagnosed, that's going to be what they're going to look at. And again, these are all moderate category issues. The severe categories are going to be congestive heart failure, angina, and then there's some other related things I'm not going to go into, some other more severe conditions that you can have. But these are the most common ones. So we're going to talk about these really quickly. Now, cholesterol and blood pressure, the real common ones. Good news, no biggie. You can be on cholesterol prescription medicines, blood pressure prescription medicines, and as long as it's, and some people are going to hate that I'm saying this, but as long as it's within reason, as long as it's not an absurd amount of prescription medicines or extremely high dosage, then you're going to be fine with those. Those aren't going to stop you from getting the best prices out there for A-rated life insurance, whole life insurance. Now, where it does become a problem is if your cholesterol, your blood pressure, if it escalates into other problems, anything within the moderate category or the severe category. So if you are taking blood thinners, again, pretty common. It doesn't mean you're in trouble. It just means that you should be taking it for at least a year before you try and get whole life insurance if you want to get the best rates possible. So if you've been taking blood thinners for at least a year, give us a call. Let us know how long you've been taking it. The longer, the better. If you've been taking it at least 2 or 3 years, then you can usually get a preferred health rating, which is way above average health rating, and that brings your price way down. Blood clots, stents, I'm going to lump those right together with heart attacks and heart surgeries. Any of those at least a year out, and you can get a preferred health rating. It's a beautiful thing. So whole life insurance is really wonderful this way. Now, irregular heart rhythms, such as AFib, heart murmurs, or other forms that irregular heart rhythms can come within, that can be okay. It's going to depend upon a whole bunch of factors, and that's a brief conversation to have with your agent. But typically, you can get at least average health rating, which is good, and sometimes you can get preferred health ratings. So that's always what we want. We want those preferred health ratings because that brings that price down And oftentimes it'll come down 10, 20% on the price. It's a big deal. So if you can, you want to get that. Now, those severe heart-related issues such as angina and congestive heart failure. Good news first, angina, if you've had angina for at least a year, you can get a preferred health rating, believe it or not. We have access to one of the few companies in the country, a rated company, that will give you that above average health rating if you've had angina for a year. So very few companies do that. Most other agents you talk to, most other agencies you talk to if you have angina, they're going to put you in a guaranteed issue or a graded issue policy, which is vastly inferior to getting something that's standard or preferred health rating. Now, congestive heart failure, here's the bad news. You cannot get standard or preferred health rating if you have CHF, congestive heart failure. The good news is that if you are between the ages of 50 and 80, doesn't matter if you're a smoker, non-smoker, nothing else matters, but if you're between 50 and 80, you can get guaranteed issue whole life insurance. And the way that guaranteed issue life insurance works is that there is a 2-year waiting period. And let me briefly tell you what this means. 2-year waiting period means that for the first 2 years of having the policy, your loved ones get a vastly dropped payout if you were to die in those first 2 years. They're going to get what you paid into the policy plus 10% with guaranteed issue. Once you outlive that first 2 years, it's 100% payout until death occurs. So let's say you die in year number 3, they're going to get 100% of the policy amount. Year number 27, they're going to get 100% of the policy amount. So you just have to outlive the first 2 years. Now, graded issue has better terms than guaranteed issue and better prices. And we have access to one of the lowest price graded issue policies in the country as well. And that's going to be ideal for some other moderate conditions, some severe conditions, and a whole lot of minor conditions that if you're taking a lot of prescription medicines, for example, or you have some mental diagnoses such as bipolar, schizophrenia, extreme depression or anxiety, just very high on the chart, then we have access to some great prices for those graded issue, and that's a really good way to go on that. So I hope this has been helpful. It's a lot of information. Just know that if you call us, we have this stuff. We're trained. All of our agents are overqualified to help you out and to help you quickly and to pair you with the lowest price options possible. All right, stay safe out there. Take care.